Hello, my name is Jordan, and I will be talking about the challenged book Ender's Game. I'll review evidence that made me believe why this book was challenged, and I'll also be giving the same evidence to my friends and hearing their responses and viewing what could make a person not want to read this book or have them have a negative view from this book just by the information from someone who has read it. I've had 3 friends help me out with this project, and I have all given them the same evidence and information that I have. What is a challenge book was one of them, and the second one was what they think it takes for a book to get banned. A little tidbit, in fact, in the First Amendment Museum's article, it states that sexual content is 92.5% of reasons that books get banned, offensive language is 61, unsuited for the age group that is pushed onto is 49, religious viewpoints is 26, LGBTQ is 23.5, violence is 19, racism is 16.5, use of legal substances is 12.5, anti-family content is 7, and political viewpoints is 6.5.
I believe that a challenged book is a book that people have attempted to get banned. I think that for a book to get banned, it probably has to be like controversial or have like harmful topics in it.
I think a challenge book is something that falls close to the idea of a banned book. So it gets into political, religious, or just overall some sort of belief amongst people. Um, but I think it doesn't meet every threshold to be a banned book. But it gets close enough for it to be challenged on if it should be taught in schools or anything of that sort. I think what it takes for a book to be banned is for it to go into political or social beliefs or ideals. Books like 1984 or To Kill a Mockingbird or even The Great Gatsby, I suppose. These are all books that really get into um, everyday beliefs, everyday things, and it kind of breaks them down and it shows the flaws in it, but it also has other elements to it. Like To Kill a Mockingbird, I know gets into, from what I've heard, just teenage angst and things of that sort. While 1984 gets into political ideals, like what if this and this happened and it equaled out to that, and things of that sort. I feel like it just gets into very messy and vulgar subjects that most people don't want younger people hearing or other generations to hear about. I feel like the book rightfully got scrapped out of the series. That's very, very uh, icky and weird to say the least, some of the things mentioned. I think the book was banned because of just how uh, eccentric and violent it was, but also for just the really nasty descriptions of just nudity and also just the idea of a child going through all those just heinous things, very nasty things to say the least.
I believe a challenged book is a book that's challenged. So I'd say like an IQ less than 70. In order for a book to get banned, I'd say it would either have to have really sensitiveness or really sensitive information or a severe amount of misinformation. So it's either lying or telling too many truths. Um yeah. Um I feel like it was definitely banned, not only because of the sensitive topics it touched up on with, like, obviously children and war, um, and the effects that war can have on the human mind and body, there respectively, but also because of similarly sensitive topics discussed in the book that weren't exactly as important and integral to the plot. But I digress.
Now, the facts that I gave my 3 friends, I only have 4 main ones that really stuck out to me because they were a bit odd in some places, especially one of them, which was very concerning at some points with how much it came up. But the first one, of course, is military school. Our main character, who is only a 6-year-old boy, gets sent to a military school. He's taken away from home, and there's just a lack of care from the adults. And the oldest that our main character gets into like the military school is only, I believe, 10 to maybe 12. He goes through extreme amount of mental trauma for a little boy, which is a very touchy subject since he is so young. And one of the big ones, which all my friends was a big pusher for them for the reason why they believe this book was challenged or banned, is the odd amount of nudity or description talking about the children's undress. I understand that it's a school full of all boys, but the amount of describing how undressed they are or the state of dress that the children are in was a little bit extreme, because it was every chapter and every few pages they would talk about one of the little boys being undressed or in what state of dress they were. A big one for me was when Ender got jumped in a bathroom, and to point at one of the boys who was Hispanic, his Hispanic honor, that they both should fight naked, which was just a little odd to me. And of course, since he is being extremely pushed to like the very end, it shows a lot of mental trauma and soldier-like PTSD from our main character Ender, extreme amount of depression, and they purposely go out of their way to always isolate him. And there's just the constant heavy weight of like mental depression and everything on the main character, who's only 6 to 11 years old, was very extreme, I feel, for some people. And it was definitely a big reason why this book was most likely challenged. And also a very touchy subject, that a reason why a lot of books get shamed or have negative views is the religious stuff. Though there wasn't a large percent, it was only, well, it was quite a bit of large percent, it was 26. There is a abandonment, like, in the first start of the chapters. The first chapter, both the main characters' parents abandoned their religion, and it's almost like it's shaming if you follow religion in this book, which is a very sensitive topic and a very touchy one. There was a whole long essay in one of the reviews of a girl talking about this book, how it tries to push Mormonism on you, which is another thing that's very touchy thing. But at the end, it was just, the book was a bit odd. It was pushed for ages 10, and I myself struggled reading this book because it was everywhere at every point. It never made sense. It switched POVs out of nowhere. It was just everywhere. Every chapter almost felt like it was repeating. At the same time, it was so different that it just didn't add up. This book itself is no longer considered canon for the series because how many mistakes were in the book itself, which just made it even more confusing towards the end.